Hey, beautiful. Welcome to another episode of the Big Fat Talk Show. I'm extremely excited about this season and our next guests. I think it's about time that we start having this discussion more because, or actually clarify this discussion. Today we're talking modest fashion. And with me is, hi Hafsa.
Hafsa, hello, how are you?
Hafsa is the director of Hafsa Dollhouse, which is a fashion house. And of course, the one, the only, my dearest friend, Farah Khaleck is a motivational speaker and so many other things. You all know her by now. If you don't, go check her out. Hi ladies. Thank
Hi,
you
how are
so
you?
much for coming.
Thank you for
And
having us.
immediately, this was a last minute topic that came up for today's shoot, and I thought, I couldn't think of any people better than you two to have this discussion
Oh,
with.
thank you.
And I'm so glad when I raised it to you, you're both like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah.
So basically, what I want to discuss, why I'm having this discussion actually is a friend of mine working on radio the other day called me. She was live on radio and she said, I want you to pitch into this discussion. And she was talking about modest fashion. And I thought, not many people are talking about this. And I'm sure many people are thinking, what is modest fashion?
Very true.
And yes, all of a sudden it's on the runways, it's in vogue, it's, the big fashion houses are promoting it. So what is it? So, I also want to talk about what is modest fashion. I want to talk about, is it a fad or has it been here forever but people just weren't talking about it? And then I want to talk about the advantages of modest fashion, So, I think, why don't you tell us, Hafsa, what is modest fashion?
A modesty fashion, actually, to my understanding,
Yes.
modesty fashion, long time ago, people thought that a girl with a black head to toe,
Yeah.
wearing black abayas and all that are modesty.
Yes.
But now it's totally different. Modesty has been like covering up. Whether you are non-Muslim, whether you're a Muslim, it doesn't matter. Nowadays, even non-Muslims are more onto the modesty thing. So it's not something like you can tag along on a Muslim thing, but it's something like, women in general, you feel comfortable in whenever you are. So that's how a modesty I can define, I think, to
Yeah,
me.
that's
It's just a
great-
covering up a little bit.
I love what you said about the black toe to
Head
toe,
to toe.
head to toe
Yeah, a
thing.
long time ago.
Because modest fashion is attributed to the black head to toe is a
Abayas.
abaya, a burqa, a burqui, which is Muslim.
Definitely.
But modest fashion is not Muslim.
Yeah.
modest clothing is not Muslim, right?
Yeah, very true.
Maybe
Nowadays,
we
even
can go into-
non-Muslims are taken to another level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Farah, what is your thoughts on what is modest fashion?
Modest fashion to me is dressing comfortably.
Okay.
I feel like, because how I dress comfortable. Like what I'm happy with and how I'm happy with.
Cool.
So I feel like modesty. I don't know why this word modesty actually, because it's just dressing to your comfort. You can be happy covering yourself, even your eyes.
Yeah.
You can be happy with that.
Very true.
And that's not modesty. That's just you.
Yeah.
As individual, yeah, definitely.
I love what you said. Like, why modesty? It's so true. You know why? Let me tell you why. This is what I think. Society has been setting what
Yeah.
women should wear, what
Definitely.
their skin color should be, how wide the thigh gap should be, how big
Definitely.
the ass should be, how big the boob should be.
Yeah.
We've been told about this for as long as time.
Very true.
And what suits, whether it's a commercial on selling cars, whether it's a whatever commercials nowadays are all using women in two-piece bathing suits, because it increases sales.
Very
right?
true.
So obviously showing more skin is
Selling more,
promoted.
yeah,
It
definitely
sells
more, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It then doesn't, it is your dress, your choice at the end of the day.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what it should be, right? But the problem here is society has been stuffing what is making money down our throats.
Very true.
And right now, why the word modest fashion? Because currently it's making money. We'll discuss why later in the conversation, I'm sure. However, that's the thing. So it shouldn't be modest fashion, or why wasn't? So modest fashion, in my understanding, is clothes that are showing less skin than usual.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Fashion because they're fashionable. You can look amazing, you can look bomb, you can look
Yeah.
really drop dead,
And you can
and you're
drop
showing
anything.
less skin.
Very
Very
That's it.
true. Very true.
But why is this being given the tag of modest fashion?
To
And
the-
the other one was never. What was it called? Moskin fashion. It wasn't given a tag. It was just
It's
called
a
fashion.
Moscow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't given a
Okay.
name. It was just
Yeah.
called fashion.
Why is it
And then now
modest?
this is modest fashion.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
It was
It's
wrong.
about time that women are just told, please, just wear what you want. We will
Very
not.
true.
We will not give our opinion anymore. And we will not stuff anything down your
Oh,
throat.
yes, it's
That's
about
the
time.
fact of the matter.
Very
You
true.
get it? So I think for me, I agree with both your views. It's amazing,
And more
you
so,
know,
I feel like women should also have that in them.
yes,
Like, no, it's not like, okay, I'm wearing this. You know, we have it in our heads. Like, no, let's not show skin. Girl, just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Like,
the other
you
thing
know,
is, no, the
you
other thing
both-
is,
yeah.
Yeah.
there is a way that, by the end of the day, you can cover it. Allah is always judging your
Yes,
heart.
yes.
True.
What is it called? Qulub, or, is inner. Allah is looking at inner. Imagine someone can cover up, and at the same time, but deep
Be a
inside you're
whole
dirty, like you
different
wish to
story.
wear like something
Yes,
tiny.
yes.
You will not
Yeah.
get ajr for it by the end of the day. So if your heart is telling you, go for modesty,
Exactly.
do it, because by the end of the day, no faking it, and no
Yeah, no faking
it.
be yourself.
exactly.
And at the same time, to interrupt
Be
again,
yourself.
and there is a level for modesty. Someone can look at me. Those girls that wear ninjas, gloves, they can look at me and say, this is not a modesty.
Yeah.
And again, I can look down to a girl who is wearing a jeans and a hijab and tell them like, oh my God, this is
Is
not
that
modesty.
modesty?
So she's
Right.
looking at me, not modesty. I'm
You're
looking
looking
at
at someone.
Yeah.
It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the bottom line, like we said, wear what you want.
Definitely.
You know,
to
if
make
you're a
it
Christian,
comfortable.
a Muslim, a Hindu, then you're following a certain religion, then each of us to ours, right?
Exactly.
We want to follow.
True.
Follow your
So
heart.
and the thing is that you both are, have your own platforms where you have a fashion house that is now doing
Modesty.
modest fashion.
Very true.
And you're making it likable and fun and colors and everything, and it looks really elegant and nice. Farah, on the other hand, you also have a platform where you're promoting body positivity and everything, and calling yourself a hijabi and a modest fashion kind of. You're using your modest fashion in your platform. So that's why I really wanted to have these views. And already, just from defining what modest fashion is, all three of us have had such a different view.
Very true.
None of us are wrong, but extremely different views.
Yeah.
And what's coming out of what we've all three of us said is that modest fashion does not have a religion,
No,
does not have a culture.
it has no tag.
It doesn't even have a length of the dress.
No.
Yeah.
What it is what you're comfortable in. So I'm saying I'm comfortable in this.
Very true.
And that's what fashion in essence should be.
Yeah,
It should be,
comfortable.
yes, stylish and everything, but you're not wearing something that makes you uncomfortable just because it's in the it's on the front
Vogue.
page of a magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wearing it because stylish is part of me. I like what I wear and I want to wear what
Very
that's
true.
it. So for someone like me, I'm a big girl, and a lot of people feel that you should be wearing tighter clothes. Don't wear. I don't wear loose clothes because I'm ashamed of my body or the curves or my stomach. No, I wear loose clothes because I like to.
You accept
I'm
yourself.
so comfortable in it. So somebody might look at me and say she's big and she's wearing big clothes. Like,
Very
what's
true.
wrong?
I have encountered a lot of
I
that.
counter
Yeah,
so
very
much
true.
everywhere I go. Why don't you take that in? Why don't you make this? Why don't you buy something that?
Oh, she's not
Because
respecting
I'm
herself.
already big. I should already not be okay with myself. You get what I'm saying? That's the conception.
Or she's not respecting her
already
body
big.
or
She
something
should
like
not
that,
be
yeah.
happy with herself. Exactly. Or if she's so skinny, she should just wear loose clothes to make her big. But she wants to wear fitting clothes.
Or
So
they tell you that you need to tie a
tie
Belt,
a
yeah,
belt,
very
exactly.
true, so that
I
you
hear
don't
it
show
all-
your
I hear it
curves
all
or
the
something
time,
like that.
exactly. I'll always go for a looser dress or a
Dress,
kaftan
big,
or something over a fitting dress, and
Yeah.
I could wear both, but this is my preference,
Yeah.
and that's what fashion should be. at the end of the
Definitely
day.
comfortable,
It
yeah,
should
and
be
whatever
Style,
you
style.
feel.
it's elegance, it's practical.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Practical means
And
what?
comfort.
That you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying so.
Very true.
I love that all three of us, all coincidentally Muslim, but all all conforming to some form of what the
Modesty,
modern day society is
yeah.
calling modest fashion, but all three have different views on it, which is amazing, and that's why I felt we needed to have this conversation.
Definitely.
So what do you think? The next I wanted to talk was like, is modest fashion a fad? Fads don't last; they come and they go, right? Something
Very
like
true.
what's a fashion thing that came and went? Maybe Polonex. Ones that don't stay long, they come. People wear them, they go.
Exactly,
So that's a
exactly.
fad. So is modest fashion a fad?
What do you have in mind?
Or which one?
There's a lot
Kim
actually.
Kardashian's latex.
Or the latex
Obsession.
the
Oh my
obsession.
God.
Yeah, those don't stay. They're fad.
Yeah.
What have you seen? There's a new fad I was seeing. I saw it on Essence. Was it ankle scarves?
Oh my god. Oh my
Gosh.
They were in for the winter season. So you wear ankle length boots with the short pants and then a scarf on your ankle like you would tie on your neck.
Very true,
So,
by
yeah.
the way.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
no, but those are fads and impractical things that don't
Yeah.
last. So is modest fashion a fad, or has it been there for generations? That's the question here.
No, definitely it has been there. It's been always there.
No, why is it like so? So what is?
It's all of a sudden because of all the outreach we've got, the social media, it's become commercialized.
Yeah.
So now it's a thing to sell, because now we have hijabis, we have hijab tutorials, we have hijab, different kinds of and types of hijabs now, So it's become a whole trend, not a fad. I think it's a trend now. So modesty for me right now is just a huge trend, and everyone is cashing in on it.
Yeah.
Whether Muslim or not, everyone is cashing in on it.
Yeah.
And then you can see non-Muslims, rocking a hijab, whether it's on their shoulders or just on, on their handbag. People are rocking a hijab. It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's a
Oh,
trend.
for me, is none of it. If I may think of it, because it's something like it's not something that will go away or something that was there. It is the right time. It's like it is starting and upcoming, and it's right time and it's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
Yeah, it's here to stay. And then what motivated to that, or is because we have nowadays role models. When it comes to, you can see the first model Halima. Yeah, we never had a model before. Like she can go to any runway and then she
She's
will.
been on the cover of Vogue.
Yeah, so big. She worked with the Kanye West and all that. So she wouldn't throw her hijab. Before even we used to have a Somali girl called Iman. She didn't wear hijab.
Yeah.
That's why modesty didn't.
Didn't carry forward.
Yeah.
So for her, she's a role model to a lot, including me. Like whatever is trending, I have to look. Whenever she goes to Mercedes-Benz fashion show, I'm like, okay, what will she be wearing?
Halima wearing?
Yeah, the designers, she give them hard time. Like because you have to cover this woman, and it has to be something like go along with the other models. So they will be like all the models are wearing the same dim and the same designers, like you have to keep it a color. You will be given this circle and you'll be told like this is the color that is needed for you. So every model should have one of these. So Halima now, like for them to dress Halima, and then I'm kind of like, as a designer, it gives me like, she's working with big designers.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, then what will she be wearing this time?
Yeah.
She will come with a full thing, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, this is beautiful. So for me, she's giving me like, what to look up to, trending. And at the same time, for the young models, like she's giving them upper hand, like, okay, then I can be a model. So I think when it comes to modesty, and we have role models that we can look up to. And before you can see a Muslim girl, she can talk. Yeah, she would be like, they used to be entrepreneurs, not fashion designers, not models. Hakuna influencer unapata. But now you can find a blogger. She's a Muslim. She calls herself modesty blogger. She's a
And she's
food
got a huge
blogger.
following.
She can follow,
So
she
now
can
they're
travel.
all
Yeah,
following,
So I think that's what motivated us to come up and be trending as
this model.
for us
So
having
you
a
think
role
that,
model.
okay, it was neither there before, nor is it a trend, nor is it a fad.
Before it used to be a taboo.
It's coming out at the right time because
yeah.
of all these things.
And it's not going
here to
anywhere.
stay.
Yeah, and at the same time, even to interrupt you, yesterday I was following up on Australia. There was a Mercedes-Benz fashion show. All of them, they were modest. When I say modest, I mean they have a turtleneck, sleeves long. Yeah, you have long sleeves, and all you can see is like, okay, then I can look up to this, as a designer. And I was so proud to see that.
So are you saying that now designers are trying to change even their whole
Non-Muslim,
line to modesty?
Non-Muslim.
Yeah.
But you said why. You gave the answer. That's happening and why. You said it. The thing is, like any other industry, what is in at that, you're trying to make money. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So if it's making money selling
let's do this. Yeah.
this, sell this. Now, right now, you know, you've both answered it because you said it's social media. And the fact remains is, what I think is that modest clothing, modest fun clothing has been there forever. Me, I think so. Because at my age, modest fashion is blowing up right now. But as far as my mother and my grandmother, they always tried to dress modestly with a fashion sense, because those were two. I don't even have a fashion sense, let me tell you. I'm just very comfortable
With
Give me
anything that
whatever,
comes
I
along.
wear it, yeah. But my mom, my grandmom, they were very fashion women. They loved their makeup and how they dressed, but they wanted to keep it modest. So I grew up watching these two women trying to make their modest dressing fashionable. Trying to
Especially
take
there used
what's
to be
in
so
right
much
now.
bling that time.
Exactly.
Very true.
So take even
You have no
whether-
options though. You have no options. Like,
I know my mom was even on the Nation once a couple of years ago as in the best dressed Muslim women, because she was wearing a buibui with a Gucci handbag and knee length boots. You know, she was holding it up because she was crossing a puddle, and I think they snapped at that point. Because you take what you have,
Very
and
true.
you try to make it fun. So I think that it's been there for a while. What I think has changed is the evolution of social media.
Yeah.
When it came up, it gave now you don't need to be on the page of Vogue. You don't need to be on the runway, and you don't need to be in front of the camera. What you need is a page of your own, flaunting what you have that people call now modest fashion.
Very true.
And then guys are liking it, because even if they're non-Muslim or whatever, they're thinking, "Shoo, that looks so nice.
Yeah.
This head wrap she's wearing looks so nice.
yeah.
This long dress with
even
them
nowadays,
looks
if
so
you
nice."
see the red carpets, you saw people are wearing like
Yeah, I'm seeing the head wraps are being worn,
Very
the
true.
gowns, the
It's taking
kaftans
over,
are taking
yeah.
over. And so now that is where it exploded. Social media gave a platform for everyone to see what was not being given
very true.
the light of day.
light of
You get it? And then what happened is now it's become, oh my God, everyone's liking it. Everyone's asking this woman where to buy that turban.
Yeah.
So Versace will be like, okay, let's make the turban because there's money.
Yeah.
So now the runway, this, that, and there you have it, because now the non-Muslims, the non-religious, the religious groups that wear
Non-hijabis,
that wear modest clothing by religion, now the ones who don't are even looking at it, because one, it's now being made a bit more fashionable, maybe more available, and it's been backed by the big names.